Right, hello, welcome back. Just going to put the TS410 back together. It's got a new crank, new piston, new cylinder, all Chinese parts. The carb, it will have a new exhaust on it. Just got to remember how to put it all back together now, and find all the parts, and then we'll have a start up, I hope. Right, I've just sorted all the parts out. Like, so I'm not going to film putting it out together because I think it'll be very long-winded, and plus I need to get it done. So yeah, maybe, like I said, I will do another one another time, I think. But I've had to sort my parts out. I've done part of what is my handles, or handle. You've got about a couple of brackets. I'll put the end of it, obviously the cutting end, belt and all the rest of it. I've got some more plastic, a pile of plastic there. Just seems, I'm sure that I took off a lot more bits than what I've got here. I've set myself up. Coffee today, not tea, so it proves how I'll get it done. This is a T27, but you will need a T27 for most of this. It's a Stihl one. I don't know if you can see the number or not. It's 5910 890 2400. Good days, and they're about £6-7 on eBay. That's where I got my one from. But they're quite strong, just in case you're looking for a T27. If you're doing this sort of stuff. Right, I'm gonna get on with it. Yeah. So here we go. Right, I've just got the carb boot on. Manifold, inlet manifold, whatever you prefer to call it. Just trying to give you a sort of where the screws are supposed to go on the clamp. I don't know if you can see that actually. This one's straight down. This one should be across the top. I need to turn it around a bit more. It's a bit awkward putting these in because you sort of put one on and the other one sort of wants to pop off. I don't know if it's because it's got the Chinese cylinder rather than the proper Stihl one. It doesn't seem to want to sit on there very well. That's the problem. I mean, that's the original inlet boot. So yeah, I don't know. But that's the way the screws are, straight down for the bottom one. And for that, don't forget to put this back in as well. Yeah, right, I'll carry on. Might show you a little bit more as it goes. We'll see. Right, looks a bit more together, doesn't it? But all I've done basically is laid it on there, on the tank base, and I've put one bolt in so far. I'm going to check the carb and everything lines up with the manifold, and there's plenty of movement and stuff. I can't get my fingers in there at the moment. And then a few more bits. A lot more bits. You know, and it's just about remembering where everything goes, because it's been a few weeks. Like, yeah, I don't know, I'll chuck it somewhere. I ain't joking. Right, let's carry on. There's something else I'm going to mention at this point as well. As you know, this went through the parts washer, because it's a dust, and I kept saying about dust. But even like that, I'm rebuilding it, and look at the dust. There's a bit of glue on my hand, what I had on earlier as well. I'm not peeling. I'm just got glue on my fingers. But look at the dust already. You know. Look, and I cleaned all that before I started. That's what I'm saying with these bloody things. They're a pain in the neck. I mean, that's the one thing that kills me is the dust, and no matter what you do, you can't get rid of it. So that's another reason I put this plug in, by the way, because normally you wouldn't have this plug in. I've just put it in there just to make sure. I know this is still open here. It's where your decompression valve goes. But I've just chucked this in there just to stop anything going in. Right, let's not ramble. Let's get on. Right, bolt the handles on. What basically hold the engine on. for the springs, and the one on the other side. Still got loads of bits to bolt on. And it's got a handle on it, and the pads. It looks more like what it's supposed to be. I've just run a bolt through there to line it up before I put the handle on. Now I've got it on. I'll bolt the carb on. Hopefully it'll line up. And yeah, it's getting there. But look at the dirt. And like I say, everything's been for the part wash. You can see it there. Look. I don't know if you can see that. Unbelievable. But she's getting there now, so hopefully it won't be long before we can get a start up. Yeah, and I've just managed to have a sip of coffee as well. So I don't normally drink coffee, I must admit, but thought it might get me sort of keep me going today. Yeah, and for you people who watch the update, you know that I've given up drinking Coke and stuff. And it's been one week, one day, and yeah, I had the usual 2 or 3 days of being a real miserable sod, and seem to be over it now. I seem to be really mellow. I don't know why. I just seem to be really mellowed out, but it's a pity everybody else in the house ain't. Right, let's carry on. Right, the bolts went straight through in the carb. Lovely. That makes a change, doesn't it? Let's keep it up. Touch a bit of wood. The only thing I don't like about it, this new Chinese. Well, I don't actually know where this carb comes from. I say the rest of it's Chinese kit, but I know about this. The carb. It's a slot in the choke's a bit big. I don't think you can really see it. So it's a little bit slack. I mean, it does go wherever it's supposed to go, but that's the only quality bit I can see of it so far without running it. Yeah, it's getting there, isn't it? Still got a pile of screws, so there must be some more bits to put in. Obviously, when you put these legs on, you've got to be a bit careful. I mean, but just a bit careful, because they are screwing in the plastic, and they are like a real coarse. Oh, we've got one now. They're all in there now. Oh, they aren't. Just let's have a look. There's a little one that goes in at the top, but you see how coarse that is. But you can soon rip them out still. Right, let's carry on. Oh, something I didn't show you. When you put the handles on, this spring goes on as well, obviously here. But I'd left that off. I'd left all the top end off, just in case I needed to sort of somehow move it about. Yeah, I'm thinking must be getting there. Must be getting there. Right, the next job I'm going to do is I'm going to put the new decompression valve in. Don't know where you can see that. That's a new one. I've seen a lot of videos people replace all this and don't put a new one in. I don't see the point of that. That's probably the cheapest bit. Again, I think I paid say a £5 for it on eBay, just because I forgot to order one and it didn't come with the kit on this one. So yeah, so like I say, for about a £5 get a new one. Then you know, don't you? You spend all that money on the rest of it. And another thing, what I was mentioning, you wouldn't normally strip this down as much as what I had if you were just going to do the top end, because you can pretty much get through to it from there and just pry these off. It's only because I've had to do other bits as well in it, so I thought it would make it a lot easier. Especially, well, you can do more than all of it, I think. But anyway, there you go. I want to fit this now. Yeah. Alright, I might as well mention while I'm at it. These are a bit of a pig to get anything onto, like a span or anything. So I use a long reach. What size is it? It's 30mm. It's 30mm long reach, and it obviously just goes over because the way the head is shaped, or cylinder shaped, and that just goes on it. But one problem you have, I've seen it loads of times, is I've only got a finger ratchet here, but you can't get your ratchet. If you put that on first, you can't get it on, or you can put it on together, you can't get it in. Just push it in, and then it gives you enough room to get your clearance in there to get around the handle. Another thing to say, if you have no compression and you think it could be, you're going to buy another cylinder kit. Because obviously I recommend, like I say, you get a new one of these decompression valves. Why not, before you completely strip it down, just replace that valve first, because you're going to buy it anyway, and just change it, because obviously if that's not always clearing, let's see if I can show you the old one. Right, I was going to show you this, see if I can show you the end of the, but you can't really see in there enough to see it, I don't think. The end of the compression. Oh, you might do, right there you are. See that little round circle, that's where the end is. Obviously when you push it, I can't do it, I'll try and click the light on it. Oh, it's already in, that's why. Yeah, that's closed. And that's open, so there's not a lot to seal them. So if that's not shutting off properly, a bit of carbon or a bit of muck on the outside, you can lose all your compression. So change that first. At least you can see in there, and you can see the piston's knackered. It's worth trying that. Even if you take it off and clean it, sometimes I don't think well, I don't think it works. I think it's just better off paying like sort of £5 and getting a new one. Right, let's get this thing built. Right, now we're doing the bit I really hate to do, and that's putting the plastic on. This cover goes just over top the engine. That's why I say do the compression valve. Right, this just clips in. I'll just sort of show you roughly how it goes, because all the other screws from the other bits hold it on. Turn it round, and it's got a little locating pin on this one as well, so you can get it all in. Yeah, and then it's putting that on. And then turn this round, because I disconnected the wires this end. Well, some people do the switch, and some people do this end. I do this end. So when you look in here, that's how close we are. Look, we're getting all the plastic on. Yeah, so we're getting there. Yeah, it's just a matter. I hate doing the plastic because it never lines up, and it. I just find out the annoying bit. I know it's a sign of it's done, but it ain't done really until it's run. This is another thing. These leads have to run through here and through here, and you want to get them on sort of a relatively early stage you're putting it on, because I know in the past that putting these cables in sometimes can be the worst job of the whole lot. Right, I'm going to crack on. Right, as you can see, it's all back together this side. New exhaust on it. I put all this on and I forgot to connect the bleeding throttle link, didn't I? Silly plonker. But then obviously I had to take a few seconds to do it. So anyway, all I've got to do now is put the drive on it, the disc and that, and the starter, and then we'll be ready to fire it. I did have a panic a minute ago. I tipped it up on end. I was putting the air filter on it, and I tipped it up like I smelled petrol, and also there was petrol all over the top, and I thought, oh no. And because I hadn't done the petrol cap up tight, because it sort of clicks. I'll show you. Hang on. There you go, it clicks in, and I'd left it like that. So it was a bit of a panic over nothing. But yeah, I'm going to do that, and then we'll start it up. Right, just going to give this a bit of wash. this as well. I thought I'd get away with it because I didn't realise I hadn't washed this. I've blown it all out with the airline. But it still says brick dust in it. So I've got to give it a little wash before push back just going to track it alright, well fairly alright. You can see it on there. Well, I'm going to give it a wash as well because all this dirt and dust is falling out and I've blown it out, you can see it. So I'm going to give this a wash and then we're ready for the start up. Alright, so that's all I've got to do now is wash it. I've got to remember where that goes. Obviously it's something I've probably got to unbolt again. Probably I forgot there's got a wash on it. I think if that had been used in the first place we wouldn't have this problem. We don't have quite so much dust. Right, let's I'm going to wash this up and see for the start up. Right, that's where it goes, that water bit tap, slots in the hole, slots in there. Oh, so I can do it, I can find, there you go. I'll put a screw in there, and we're all done and ready for the start up. Woohoo! Right, just give it a little go. I've edited the video a bit because I've had to cut that bit out, because I took about, I don't know, 40-50 pulls, and I've just got it to go boom from backfire basically, and then I had to go and pick Louis up from the school. So right, but it hasn't actually run or nothing. It's just I've had one backfire out of it. I think it's mainly because I soaked everything so much oil when I put it together that everything's ringing with oil, and plus obviously it's a new carb, so you know, and I haven't adjusted it or nothing, so I'm still going to have a little play with it, I think. So I only actually had it running, I just like one backfire out of it and thought, well, you really don't want to see me putting it over for about 50 times, maybe even more than that, I don't know. Yeah, so Louis just popped indoors, and when he comes out, well, I'll get him to film me trying to start it. Right, we'll give it a go. Right, switched on. I've got a choke off at the moment. Press the valve in. Let's get a bit of choke. Let's pump on it up a bit more. Like I said, I've only had it going sort of like a backfire. Choke. That runs. Okay. Right, we've had it running. Happy with that. Obviously, he's not picking it up till tomorrow night, so obviously I'll play with the carbonate. It's had a new crank seals, crank bearings, piston, new cylinder, new decompression valve, new carb, new exhaust. So basically, underneath the plastic, it's all new basically. The only thing I didn't replace, what would have been an ideal thing to do at the same time, I suppose, is a new belt. But I don't think it's that old, that belt. But yeah, it's all back together. And like I said, I'll have a play with it tomorrow. I got this this particular kit. I got this from Garden Hire. Is it Garden Hire? Garden Hire Supplies. They're on eBay, and also I've got an account with them. I don't use them very often, but they seem alright, and the kit seems alright. Like I say, I've got a lot more compression than what I thought it would have, you know, because I didn't think it would have much. But in the Chinese kit, definitely more than what it had when it come in. I mean, it still had compression, but it was a bit low. Watertech, but I take it that might, by looking at this, I think this is their so if you can see the details on there. No, it's pretty blurred, but I take it Watertech is their thing. If you do a 420, if you do a TS410, it's identical. The only difference is the size of the disc. The 400 and all the others are different. 400 is different completely, but like the 410 and the 420 are the same. So you might see. So I mean, obviously these weren't one of building it. It was just showing you little bits. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Lou, you happy with that? That's all we got to get out of him. Even like this box, we don't normally use it. We use the magnet ones. Look at the dust in there, and that's just off the nuts and bolts. Unbelievable. Trouble is, it comes with everything else in the workshop as well when you're doing it. But that's alright, it runs, and I'll play with it and sort it out tomorrow before it gets in, make sure it starts a bit better. But for first attempt, I thought it was pretty good. Pretty good. Right, thanks for watching and all the rest of it. Now I've got to go and cut the grass with Louis. He's going to make me cut the grass. So, right, usual stuff, and I'll see you next time.